What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I am back with another physical media haul vlog. Now, I know it's been a really big gap between the videos this year, but personally for me, it has been a very slow year when it comes to physical media. And there have been plenty of stuff releasing, but it's just more of a thing of there's nothing for me to actually buy. And as I've said many times on this channel, that I only buy things that I like/love. So I don't just collect things just for the sake of collecting them. I know there are some collectors who do that. They just want to build up a huge physical media shelf, and that's dope for them. But me, if I don't watch it, I'm not gonna buy it, and it just hasn't been that much for me. Another thing as well as to why this video has been pushed back is I was waiting on an order that was supposed to release at the beginning of the month, specifically the Running Man Steelbook, but it now got pushed back to April, and I just got the notification of that. So I'm not gonna hold off on, April to show you guys some stuff, because I did pick up some things here and there in the meantime. And yeah, I could order it from Walmart or somewhere else, but I was able to lock in a very cheap price for the Steelbook on Amazon. It was only $30 for me, and everywhere else is looking at me about 40 something. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for that and pay that, because we all know bills are higher as hell in this economy. So if I can save a buck, I'm going to. But enough about that. I'm gonna get into some of my releases that I did pick up. One that did also release this month, and that first release is She Came from the Woods. And you might not know about this movie because it is kind of a B movie that released in 2023, if I remember correct. And it is about this camp in 1987 that has this legend of a witch who used to roam those grounds, and they do a sacred ritual that brings the witch back, and she's there to terrorize all of the kids and the counselors there. And I love this movie because it takes something like summer camp horror and does a nice flip on it, because it combines the slasher genre with paranormal, and I think that they marries them really well, and it also has that campiness that you would expect from a movie like this. So it's just an all-around good time. And I actually bought an unofficial Blu-ray version and got a slipcase made for that movie, because they didn't have any signs of a Blu-ray being released back in 2023. But now here we are 3 years later with a custom slipcase from Vinegar Syndrome. And when I saw this slipcase, I was like, I have to have this. There was something that really pops about a red slipcase, and I just love it. Like right now, you can look on my shelf. You see that slipcase right there for those movies? It just pops on your shelf when you have bright red on there, and I had to grab this. And I love this design as well, with these hands coming out the bottom of the ground and this statue right here. Such a fun film. Then you turn it around and you have the witch's hand right here with the ring on it. And this is all stuff having to do with the movie itself, and when you do see it, you'll understand what this imagery is about. Don't want to spoil it, because I know this might tickle people's fancies who are into summertime slashers, and I think it's on Tubi right now, so give it a watch. It's either on Tubi or it's on Prime Video, and I think it's well worth the watch. And Vinegar Syndrome always has a really nice slipcase. It's kind of a hard cardboard and not all flimsy and all that, so I can appreciate that. And then this is the original poster of the movie itself right here. Turn that around on the back, and that's the bottom. And this is what the witch looks like right there. And it's just a standard Blu-ray, which I'm fine with. I'm not really a big stickler for having to have stuff on 4K. That doesn't really do much for me, but I'll get it if it's there. And I love this artwork right here. And the dope thing about this is there is a reverse cover as well, so I'll show you that. That is the inside, and that's the cast of the movie right there. So all in all, really great release for a movie that I love. It cost me about 30 bucks, and I got it off of the Movie Room because the slipcase version was completely sold out on Vinegar Syndrome. So you're gonna have to find this elsewhere. They're already reselling the shit out of this thing on eBay. So if you can find somebody who has it directly, go there and get that if you have the movie or are interested. So Came from the Woods, my new release of the month. So honestly, that's all of the new releases that I have for this month, but I'm gonna get into a few other things that I picked up because I've used this time to kind of catch up on some movies that I missed. So let's go ahead and get into those. First one that I've been meaning to grab, and it released last year, that is the Nobody 2 Steelbook, and it pretty much resembles the first Nobody Steelbook, and I actually really like this design a lot. It feels like a graphic novel in a sense, the way that it has all of these characters, throughout in like this collage. Turn that around, And you have like the little beach format stuff here. I think it's really dope. It's the front and the back together. And then you flip it and you have both discs here. And you have Hutch shooting shit up. This is such a fun movie. I think the first one is definitely better because it's just, the aura of that one feels, I guess, just more focused and the intent was different. But nonetheless, this captures the vibe of the Chevy Chase vacation movies, but just in action format. And for that, I think it is extremely fun. And I've been meaning to get it, but it just wasn't on the top of my list because it cost about 37 bucks. And I was like, I can't really spend that right now when it released last year. But I'm like, I'm gonna double back in 2026 and get it. And finally got it. And it also was on sale for about 25. So I had to go ahead and pick that thing up. So Nobody 2, Steelbook, happy to have it in my collection to go along with the first one. Another movie that released last year on Steelbook in October, I believe, that I was able to finally get, that is this Mortal Kombat exclusive. And I think this was exclusive to Best Buy when it first released in 2021. And they're doing a lot of re-releases for Best Buy Steelbooks and other joints. So I figured this was a great time to pick it up, especially with the new one that is on the way soon. And though I do think this movie could have been better than what it was, I have a soft spot for it. I think it's very fun, and it does bring me the world of Mortal Kombat in a modern way, and I can just enjoy it and cut my brain off and watch it. And I gotta say that all of the scenes with Sub-Zero and Scorpion are just peak action and Mortal Kombat energy. So I figured I would go ahead and grab this. And that is the back of that. Open that up, you got it like this. And on the inside, you have Sub-Zero with the scene when he fights Jax, I believe, and he makes that ice sword. And this is just a 4K disc, which I really don't like that, man. I swear, when they just make steelbooks with only 4Ks, it just feels like you're jipping us out of money. Give us a Blu-ray, bro. Like, give us one, man. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at it, though, because I do have the Blu-ray and DVD slipcase up there somewhere. But anyway, I feel like it was necessary to grab this because once the second one comes out, I am going to want to get that on Steelbook, and I'm really a big collection type of guy. So Mortal Kombat Steelbook, had to have it in my collection. And then the last movie that I picked up was this Dungeons and Dragons Steelbook. I had the Blu-ray back there somewhere, and I was mad at myself because this was actually in stores around the time it released, and I just opted for the Blu-ray. But back then, of course, I wasn't as into steelbooks as I am now. Steelbooks are like my holy grail, and that's all I want my collection to be, even though I still will get slipcases. But if there's a steelbook for a movie, I prefer that over a standard. So it's just a typical poster. I believe this was one of the posters, and this was a very enjoyable movie. So that's the spine. Then you have the back here, and I really like this inside with this artwork right here. It's very subtle and simplistic, but it gets the point across and feels extremely mystical. And there's not much to show on this side, hence why I didn't show it. And the same with the other steelbooks that I showed. It was really pretty bare on you decide with the discs, but had to show y'all that. And I believe it is on sale on Amazon as well. I got it for $25, I believe. So make sure to grab this if you are looking for the steelbook. It's another re-release from something a few years ago. So happy to have the steelbook in my collection. Okay, so these are my next two releases, and I'm gonna present them both because they're kind of the same type of thing, and they are CDs. I am now getting back into buying CDs because it's just part of physical media, and the explosion of it has made me want them. And especially now, I bought a new car that unknowingly had a CD player in it. I was always buying CDs until they stopped selling them in the store. My last CD, I think, was Schoolboy Q's Blank Face in 2017. And from that point on, they just stopped selling them in stores. And I was like, at the time, I never Googled to see if they sold CDs, but one of the things that I loved about physical media is that you could go into the store and buy stuff. Even when I used to buy movies, I used to go in the store and buy stuff. I just recently started ordering everything offline in regards to physical media just because, again, Best Buy, Target, both of them stopped selling movies in the store, and those two were the ones that always had exclusive stuff that you could pick up in the store. So when they stopped, I kind of was just like, well, damn, now I have to order online. And since then, I've been just buying everything offline that I can, and it made me think I can do the same thing with CDs. So long story short, I was able to buy these two J.Cole CDs. I bought the Fall Off the falloff.com, and I've just been bumping it in my car ever since. So I'll show you this in case you haven't seen it. That's the front, and that is the back. And you got to excuse, I already broke this off, so there's that. Then that's the disc 29, which is the first disc, and this is a double album. And then that's disc 2. And if you put these together, it says the fall off overall, and I think that's just super dope. It's so nostalgic having CDs again, man. Especially the classic ones. Like I showed y'all the Clips one last time, but that's more of a fold out, so you don't really get a booklet with this. But this one came with a booklet, man. And just so many vibes, just looking through and seeing the images and reading the credits. And I was always somebody who would play the CD and then read the book while I'm also playing it. Like I used to like listening to the song and seeing who was the producer, because that kind of stuff matters to me. But yeah, it's just super dope, man. And like I said, I bought it from thefalloff.com. You can get it on eBay or Amazon, but they're reselling this as well. On Amazon, this shit is like $50. But on the website itself, you know, the J.Cole website, it's only $30. So if you want it, just go there and get it, opposed to paying a surplus at Amazon. This is definitely going to be something I am going to go back and buy. A little story time. How I said I used to buy CDs all the time. I had a massive collection, but my stepdad, man, shout out to him, I love him, but he threw away so many of my CDs on accident, and I am still mad about that to this day. I've been buying CDs since I was of age to buy them, you know, explicit content. I think you had to be, was it 16 to buy them? Either way, I used to go in every week and buy a CD, because back then, if I'm not mistaken, CDs used to release, yeah, it was Tuesday, because I remember when I used to go to college, during my break interval in classes, I would drive to the nearest Best Buy and buy whatever CD was set to release. But he threw away so much of my shit, man. I'm talking like The Massacre from 50 Cent. I'm talking about T.I., Urban Legend, Joel Santana, What the Game's Been Missing, Tony Ayo, Thoughts from a Predicate Felon, Lil Wayne's The Carter 2. Like, he threw away a whole bunch of my stuff, and I was so upset. So I'm missing a huge chunk, but I still have some, and again, I do plan on doubling back and picking those up, because I'm an album guy. I like listening to full bodies of work for the most part. So anyway, a little short story time about my relationship with music and CDs, and this is one of many that I'm going to re-pick up. Then the second disc that I grabbed off of Amazon, it was actually cheap, it only cost me about $11, is J.Cole's The Fall Off, and I'm in the process of really rebuying all of his albums, because the last CD of his that I bought was 2014 Forest Hill Drive, and I had that up there. But everything from that point on, I didn't own on physical media, so I'm gonna go back and buy those. Anyway, The Fall Off is the front of the disc, the back of the disc. Then the same spiel with the inside, you know, booklet, being able to read everything. And this album is, you know, 4 years old now, so I don't think I need to show y'all this, you know, like it's brand new, but I had to add this to my collection because I love riding around listening to CDs. So those are all of the things that I picked up this go around. Let me know in the comments what you pick up. I know there are a lot of physical media that have dropped. You know, let me know what you picked up from movies, or if you picked up CDs yourself, if you picked up VHS tapes, if you picked up vinyls. I'm here to talk all things physical media, and I encourage everyone to go back to buying that stuff. It's something that you can physically hold. There's nothing like that at all. I don't give a damn how digital the world gets. I'm still gonna buy physical media, you know what I mean? So again, let me know in the comments what you got. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.